entire thing won't be scrapped, even if the mandate thing is?
Well, we don't know the answer to that. And without getting into the weeds, judges are supposed to presume that what Congress writes is constitutional, and therefore they should only invalidate that which is clearly unconstitutional. That means they should do their best to carve out of a statute the part that is unconstitutional and leave the remaining. But it is very, very difficult. In fact, it's arguably an impossible task to determine what remains if you carve out of this the individual mandate, which looks like it's going down, and if you carve out of this...
You're very sure of that, aren't you?
Well, no, I am not very sure. Justice Kennedy gave stronger signals than we expected he would give, and the government's argument was weaker than we thought it would be. That doesn't always mean it's going to go the way it sounds, but the feeling, even in the courtroom amongst those who want this to be approved, was that it's going to go down. So if the individual mandate is removed, and if the state exchanges, that's the extension of Medicaid at the state expenses, is also removed, what remains does not make economic sense, and Congress may have to start from scratch, or the court may say, don't worry about starting from scratch, we're going to tell you we're throwing the whole thing out, because laws have to have a rational basis. And without these...
Well, they also have to have an economic one, right? I mean, the argument for providing health care for everyone was that everyone pitches in. You could be for or against that, obviously.
Right.
But if the math underpinning is gone, in other words, you're not putting anything
correct. So
to pay for it, then
without the individual mandate, there isn't the flow of dollars coming in. The rest of the statute wouldn't make sense. It would not have a rational basis. The court would throw it out. That's the thinking from most of us who have watched this over the past 3 days. We could be wrong, but that's the indicators
I always believe you, Judge. I always believe you. So, Kennedy was the swing justice, right? Have you seen any surprising moves out of the other 8? The 4 conservatives, the 4 liberals, you know what I mean?
The only surprising moves that we saw were 2 of the liberals, Justices Kagan and Sotomayor, were brutal on the Solicitor General and really said to him, we don't even understand your arguments. And at one point, let me make the argument for you. Sometimes that's just a little courtroom repartee. Sometimes it's an indication of how the individual justice thinks about the argument being made. But it's very, very rare that it happens to the Solicitor General, because he argues more cases in the Supreme Court than anybody else. And one of his successors is on the court, Justice Kagan.
Right.
And one of his predecessors is his adversary, Mr. Clement, who's representing the challengers of the statute.
Wow.
And the whole legal community is watching him. And he's not getting good marks.
Amazing. Amazing. All right, Judge. Thank you very much.